favorite snow machine, Snowmobile if you're in the lower 48. Ski-Doo Skandic 600 Ace engine, 2-stroke, 2017 model wide track. And today we will be putting on this heavy duty bumper. It's like this, goes here, and this is a receiver hitch for things like a tow bar, or more importantly, an electric winch to tow people out when they get stuck or pull heavy items. Very valuable thing to have. It'll also protect the front. This is also made by Bombardier Ski-Doo. As you can see, bumper, arms, all these panels have to come off. Lots of bolts to unscrew. Instructions that nobody needs. Who reads that? Yeah, right. Lots of bolts and screws. And some basic tools. T30 Torx, 10mm and a 13mm wrench. Various of these in case I need more than one. So let's get started. Step one, take off these panels. Really pretty sunny, and it's going to warm into the upper 30s today, South Central Alaska. You can see we're quite remote. We don't have a workshop to work in, so we seize days like today to do this kind of work. So we start taking off panels. Do this very carefully. The Skandic panels are easier than most. Some of these machines are quite difficult to remove the stuff, and they've made it quite difficult to get inside to access things. But this Skandic I'm increasingly pleased with. So we're going to continue to remove panels, access all the parts we need to install this bumper. Something to note, when you pull off these panels, don't lose these things. The one on the other side doesn't have the retainer clip and it came right out. Don't lose that. Left side upper panel. Set that somewhere. This time of year is a bit quiet in South Central Alaska. No tourists yet. We are in late winter, almost spring, so there's no tourists. There's no hunting to be done, no fishing, except for maybe a little bit of ice fishing. We're sort of between seasons almost, and it's a great time to do this type of project. Okay, I think we've removed all of the panels that will come off without unscrewing anything. You can see inside the engine bay here, this is the exhaust. Lots of ice in here. The engine is back in there. This is the auxiliary cooler, small radiator for the engine. That really helps keep that engine cool. We're going to take off all of this and this and this. And the best way to do that is with one of these. That piece there. And then this T30. Any place you can reduce your workload, speed things up safely. It's wise to do so. We have limited hours of daylight right now, so we want to get through this as fast as we can. We're going to set these bolts down with this panel. That's once we take it off. I don't want to lose these, so I'm going to set them somewhere. We are probably about a month away from bear season, black and brown bear hunting, April and May, maybe even into early June. Bears will keep you alive in winter because of all the fat they have if you need to eat something. Moose will not. Moose, you will starve eating a moose. Moose don't have enough fat on them. You can eat a moose all winter and literally starve. But the fat on the black bear and the grease inside the meat will keep you nourished through some hard winter months if you're really in the backcountry and you're lacking access to proper food sources. What does black bear taste like? It depends on what they're eating. If a black bear is eating grass and berries, the meat is fantastic. There's almost no gaminess to it. It's very clean. If the bear is eating fish, you usually don't want to go near it. It smells terrible. It smells like rotten fishy meat, and that's not something you want to be involved in. The bears in Alaska are thriving, both brown and black bears, and the problem is when we get too many bears, they decimate the baby moose, and down southeast Alaska, the baby deer population. So this is the front panel for the Ski-Doo Skandic. We have to remove this because one of the mounting brackets goes right here. All of the mounting screws I'm putting inside, and I'm going to set this away. Okay, so we've taken off the left panel. By the way, I'm not a mechanic. I don't generally do mechanic work, but I figured I'd give this a shot. So we will go set this panel with the others. It's easy to know which panel this is. It only goes in one spot. Back to the bear conversation. We have so many black bears and so many wolves in Alaska, and they absolutely diminish and destroy the baby moose and the baby deer population and even the caribou populations. So it's important to manage those resources. And when you take those mature boars out of the population, you give a chance for the younger bears and the females with cubs to survive, and that keeps the population healthy. Those big boars just absolutely decimate everything. Large male bear will not only eat baby moose and baby caribou, he will eat other baby bears. Yes, that is correct. It is documented, it is known, I'm not making that up. Large male bears are known to dig out dens and eat a mother bear's cubs. And there's not much the mama bear can do about it because she's not usually big enough to fight him off. So as hunters, it's up to us to manage these populations and be good stewards of this beautiful blessing that has been offered to us. Okay, so There's my right side panel, and I'm putting all of the screws for those over here. There's some debate on the numbers, but the general consensus is bears will destroy deer, moose, and caribou populations by eating up to somewhere between 20 and 40% of baby deer and baby moose in any given year. That's troubling. So it's incumbent upon us to keep those bears in check. It's also true for the wolf population. I've never hunted wolves, so I don't know anything about it. Okay, we have all of the panels off. I believe the instructions also say to remove the left side panel here, and we can see why. I just got a ding on my phone, notification, and I'm super excited. Airbnb, congratulations. Eric is booked with you. Eric, you are my first ever Airbnb, and I'm super excited. We have a small cabin on our little homestead here, and it's a really great place. It's called Talkeetna Retreat at Montana Creek. It can be found on Airbnb. I also have the domain name talkeetnaretreat.com. although we haven't done anything yet about it. So I'm super excited. It's not about the money, it's about sharing this really great place with others. And I hope Eric, as my first guest, will appreciate this place as much as we do. Welcome. If you want to book it, please reach out to us. We'd love to have you. We'd love to share what we do here and how we live. This is a really special life. We haven't always lived this life. I know it's hard to believe, but I once wore business suits every day. I've traveled around the world on giant jets, first class, 5-star resorts and 5-star accommodations, meeting with other executives, and I was in the medical research field for a while. I'm very proud of that. We did some amazing things, but it was a hard life. And every day on that plane, 12-hour transatlantic flight, I looked out that window and pondered one day maybe I could live this life. This is not easy. Financially, it's challenging, but I would not go back to that life at all. And by the way, if you're curious about that and you want some tips and more about my experience, reach out to me, livingmyalaska@gmail.com, and I'd be happy to share with you how we went from first class transatlantic flights, business meetings around the world, to working on used snow machines in the middle of the forest in Alaska. Come see us at Talkeetna Retreat on Airbnb. Okay, what's next? Maybe we should look at the instructions. Ski-Doo, heavy front bumper, 2-inch receiver. Wonderful. All the pieces, I believe we have everything there. I've double and triple checked. I've been known to miss things. Looks like it wants us to mount these sidebars first here. The mount goes under into those two holes. That is over there on the side of the machine. I think I can see the holes from here. So we'll do that first. I believe this is that piece. We are looking at this image, and it fits like that. M8 by 20 Allen screws and washers. That would be these. I'm not sure which of these fits in there. Is it this little one? That's not an Allen screw. Is it this one? That's starred wrench. Probably the same as they're calling Allen screws. This, that, and a washer. I believe that's our mounting bracket. Wants 2 of them on each side. So we'll do that now. Side bumper assembly. Only one place for it to fit, and that is right here. Yes, it does. I assume the rounded part goes up. That washer probably goes in between. So in this picture, there's something missing. It says Allen screws and washers. I don't see a washer anywhere in the diagram. Looks like there's a washer in this little tiny piece from underneath. I'm not sure where the washer goes. Let's see if we can identify in some other diagrams. See, we see washers in this diagram and in that one. So if anyone out there has any suggestions on where to put that washer, does it go on this end like that, or does it go this end like that? Please let me know. We will be putting the washer on the top. This comes in from the bottom, and this nut goes on. That looks really good. Let's put another one. As of right now, we're just hand tightening everything. We'll come back and torque everything later. This is what we're working with. This is the part of the bumper that goes down the side. Washer goes on. This goes in here, and then the nut goes on the bottom. About it. What's next? What we've done here is put these 2 nuts in, these 2 bolts in, washers underneath, hex nuts on the bottom. This bumper goes this way. So now for the next pieces. So the next piece, I believe, is this, and it looks like it goes here. This is where our mounting bolt for the plastic goes. I have a hunch that goes like that. In this diagram here, the piece we just put on, the link, and then this short piece. Let's see where that bolts on. Same in this diagram here. We have this piece, the connector, and then this arm here with that bracket. Okay, so we're back at it. Having some problems getting this bolt where it needs to go. So we're going to try this extension, and I'm going to use it like a screwdriver to put this bolt in. It goes here. Not much clearance there. It's moments like this that get very frustrating because it slows down progress to an otherwise easy and fun project. Can't get it in, so we're gonna have to pull this out of here. Feels like I'm in the right spot there, definitely. Let's see if I can hold it. But we have a problem. This is too fat to fit right here. I'll have to go see if I have another one of these on a skinnier head. Be right back. Okay. We're back again. The problem we're having, getting this under there and into this hole, and the big T30 I have doesn't fit. So we're going to try this. This is not exactly the right size for that, but I can use it as a screwdriver and get it started and finish up later. This way we have much more access, and look how easy that went in. So now I've got to get this back in here, and I think I can do it. Oh, it's like I've screwed up here. I'm going to pull this out. There we go. So next step is to loosen this back up and get these 2 pieces back together from here to here. So this is a pretty neat system. As you can see, one is a hole and one is a grooved. That is so if you need to take this panel off, this slides out like that. So we'll put this back in and then put this back into place. The instructions are a bit funny because somewhere in the instructions it says it's okay to push and bend. Yeah, I bet. Tight tolerances. Okay, wonderful. I'm really happy with how this looks. So now we can put the other screw through here, and we'll make this hole later. I'm not going to do this right now. Makes me nervous. The challenge we have now is to be sure this fits. We need to loosen this up just a bit. Wrestling snow machine pieces. Uh-oh, it came out. Okay, here we go again. Let's try to get her back in there. Our YouTube channel has various music tracks by various artists. Some of them I really like, and they're getting stuck in my head. Now in my brain, I'm constantly singing music to the tracks to some of my videos, like the music to the Arctic of Intent videos, which you guys should watch. I think you'd find that amazing. We test the Arctic of Intent at down to negative 45 degrees Fahrenheit. Wow, that's cold. For a southern boy like me, growing up in the swamps of South Louisiana, plus 95 is way more common than negative 45. Adjusting to that kind of cold has been an adventure in itself, but I don't mind. All right, we've got that in. That's started. I'm gonna use this to tighten it up. There's some tension there, so we can put it back on here. Like that. So one of the things I do often is I get ahead of myself and I don't pay attention to where I throw things, and then when I go looking for them I can't find them, and it gets incredibly frustrating. It drives my wife absolutely crazy. I'm unsure if this is actually screwing in there or not. Don't think it is. No, it's not in. Ski-Doo, you guys could do better than this. I think we got it that time. Nope. We're gonna keep trying till we get it. All right, fine. I might have to pull off the entire thing just to get this bolt in there correctly. Nope. All right, we'll have to pull this bolt off again. Patience. Something that I'm not known to have. I'm not a patient person. I seem to be patient in so many ways, but not with this stuff and not with myself. We've been struggling now for a solid 30 minutes on this one silly little bolt and bracket. Makes you wonder if the people who designed this ever actually mounted one of these. Ski-Doo's catchphrase for marketing is that Ski-Doo feeling. Yeah, Ski-Doo, I got a feeling for you right now. You guys got to do better than this. Having a hard time getting this in there. I can see the hole, I can see the threads. It's just at a very awkward angle. I think we got it. Dang. Oh, this is being recorded, so I can't say things that I want to say right now. That Ski-Doo feeling. I generally love the Ski-Doo product. There are moments where it gets very frustrating. Okay, we're gonna have to take this apart so we're not wrestling with this big heavy piece. We're doing this blind, and so we're kind of just searching for. We gotta take a break because this isn't working. Okay, so I finally got that bolt in here, one of these, and it goes behind here, and it was quite the job to get in there like that. Not easy to do, a bit of a mess, not the best design. Okay, so now we can put this back together. This is designed to swing away, so I assume it won't pop back in place. We're gonna do it like this. This goes back on here, and then this bolt and washer go back in. Okay, that looks pretty good. That's bolted in. This is on. Now we can put this back together. For someone inexperienced like myself, this is not easy. Once I do it once, I'm good, but it's that first time that gets me frustrated because I'm always nervous that I'm going to damage something that I cannot undo. It would be nice if we could simply bring this down to the Ski-Doo shop and have them do it for us, but the nearest Ski-Doo shop is over an hour away, and in Alaska, we learn to do things ourselves. Looks like I forgot to put a washer on this one. Do that now. Washer. Ah, the hole is not lined up really well. Having a hard time getting that back in there. Okay, I think we've done pretty good here. Mounted here, here, there. We're gonna leave this a little loose for now. We still have to drill the other bolt. We're starting to have some ideas on how this comes together. This bumper, I suppose like this. I don't know, maybe right here. Looks like there's going to be a problem here. This doesn't line up. This may have to be dropped down to that other bolt so it'll fit. So that's why we're not tightening anything up yet. Then if it's up here, it doesn't look too good, but maybe. One step at a time. Let's have a look at these directions again. So we did this. That's at the very back. And then on the side panel, it looks to me like they've mounted it on the lower bracket. So we're not going to mess with that too much just yet. I guess we should do the other side. Yeah. See here, we can see once again. So I'm more interested in how that front bumper fits. And it looks to me like bracket goes under the machine and the bumper fits in here like this. So this bracket bolts in here somewhere. Like they've got a cutout already, which is fabulous. Thank you folks for that. Further back from that. Looks like that fits somehow like that. Makes sense. Piers, we have to pull some pieces off in here to put this in place. There are 2 screws at the very back of this thing. You can see deep in there, those screws there that must come out. And that bracket fits behind those screws. And the bumper comes out through this slot here, which I really appreciate Ski-Doo cutting out. Thanks Ski-Doo for that. Good job. Tight squeeze in here. I imagine I can get to it with this thing. Let's see how we do with this. So I can't reach in there with this, but I have a long extension and a pivoting head. I'll be right back. Okay, so the instructions say to pull off this panel. I was hoping to skip that, save a little bit of time here with this. Tight squeeze in there, and it's at an angle. So I was able to get that in there, and 2 nuts. I'm not sure what this is for. We'll see if it fits in there with. I'll leave it in because it looks like a good reinforcement bracket. There are lots of private planes in Alaska because there's not much road system. Alaska is almost 3 times the size of Texas. That's essentially like going from Florida to maybe New Jersey. Basically the eastern half of the United States is about the size of Alaska. And most of it's not on the road system, so private planes are very, very popular in Alaska. And this time of year on a sunny day, people start to get cabin fever and want to get out and enjoy some sunshine. So let's see if this fits in there. Try not to lose these 2 nuts, these 2 bolts back in. I don't see the purpose of this bracket. I don't think it's needed. I believe this is a support bracket for this, but now that you have this in there, it's no longer needed. I'd like to put this back in there. We'll see if I can get it back in. Looks like the holes are going to line up pretty well. Let's see if this fits back in there. Might not be worth the hassle. There's some metal heat shield down here. You have to be careful not to scrape it and expose the plastic underneath. This is a 2017 machine, and we're trying to maintain it as best we can. You got to be careful buying used things in Alaska. Sometimes they've been abused. This is definitely new to us. We bought it this year, 2024. And so far it's been a wonderful machine. So I'm having a hard time getting this bolt back through with this plate on there. Just adds a level of complexity. May not be necessary because you have to line 2 things up. Looks like we got 1 in. Got it in there. It's about the other side. I like the idea of leaving that bracket in if I can. Usually the first bolt is the most difficult. If it gets too difficult, we'll pull that shiny metal bracket off. There we go, it's in. Must have heard me talking about it. Let's see if we can get this one. That one's going in pretty easy because we're better alignment. Wiggle things back and forth a bit, and it's in. Okay, let's put the nuts back on these bolts carefully. We don't want to drop one down into the chassis, never to be seen again. So the next thing that's coming up also is birch sap season. You can see we are surrounded by beautiful white birch here. Birch gives out sap like maple trees, and it is one of our favorite things to do in springtime is to go around and tap these trees. We've never done it here, but we've done it at our previous place, different part of Alaska, and I'm super excited to do it here because I have many more birch. We tap those trees, collect the sap, and then boil it down, and it renders this beautiful black molasses-like syrup that's less sweet, more earthy flavor. And by the way, you can drink the sap straight out of the tree. It has a slightly sweet taste, and it's ice cold and very fresh. And it's a fantastic thing to drink, and it's super fun. We will be using this machine with a sled to collect that birch sap because it will still be snow on the ground here during that time period. And this machine can be used for that because it's got extra coolers. We don't have to worry so much about the engine overheating. Okay, so that's in, and I believe I'm going to go ahead and tighten this down now so I don't have to come back in here. So a 10mm hex wrench, and then this contraption on the other end. It's there. It's tight. Do this one and tighten it first. This socket on it, and the wrench over here. Okay, so we'll let that wrench sit on the nut on that side, and we'll tighten on this side. Success. Now I'm going to take another wrench and do my best to tighten all of this down. 10mm one end, 10mm on the other. Make sure they're torqued down. You wouldn't want this thing to come loose while your winch is pulling on something and destroy your machine. And this is its main source of bracing. Really narrow in here, really difficult to work. Okay, that's one. And again, we left that old bracket in place as well. I think that's going to help support this thin plastic under here that behaves as a belly pan. The machine is designed to actually ride on its belly like a boat in extremely deep snow. And so this belly pan is what's so special. And we don't want to damage that, and we want to leave that metal bracket in place to protect it. Okay, so we've got the winch's bracket is in place. We bolted in. A little bit of movement there. I wonder if that's normal. I guess it is. Thank you so much for watching part 1 of the 2-part series of this video where we install the Ski-Doo Skandic heavy-duty bumper. And this bumper is not supposed to be that extremely difficult to install, but it looks like it's going to be a very involved project. So here it is. Here's part 1, and in part 2 we will finish up this video, and we're super excited to show you how it turns out, because we also show you the value of the winch, how it operates, and when to use it. Thank you so much for watching as we hunt, we harvest, we homestead, and we adventure our way through the last frontier. Please like, subscribe, and share our videos, because we have so much more to share with you as we show you what it means when we say we are living my Alaska. See you next time.